Hello everyone, this is Gene and I'm back with another video. So it's a very rare early morning video for me. It's about 7:30 here in New York City, 7:30 in the morning. RJ's currently snoozing on my bed. I've actually been up since about 4:30. I try to, get up early so I can eat and get a workout in and all this other stuff. You see, I started listening to Jocko Willink so much that I actually started taking his advice. Damn you, Jocko. But on to the tweet here that I saw online yesterday. Now, I want to be clear. I did not black out this person's information. This is a screen cap from Drunk 3PO. He did a video about this because it kind of involves him in a way. So I got this image from his video, right? And I will explain why in a moment. So to be clear. Well, first of all, credit to Drunk. This is from his video. Credit to him, and it's a situation that kind of involves him, right? And I will admit, I'm a fan of his work. I'm subscribed to his channel. So hi, Drunk three PO. But I'm going to explain why I had to take a screen cap of this from his video instead of just taking it from Twitter itself. Now, here's the thing, right? Let's look at this tweet, right, from Fiona. Says gonna punch the first person I see with this on, right? So she wants to throw hands at people for wearing a certain item, right? Well, let's see what that item is. It's a welcome to the rebellion shirt, and as you can see, maybe it's hard to see up top, but this is, I think, is from one of maybe Gina Carano's Insta. I'm not sure, right? Maybe Insta or TikTok or whatever, but this is a Welcome to the Rebellion t-shirt, which of course I think is the phrase that was used for the Ben Shapiro interview that she did, which I have seen, which eventually I will get around to giving my opinions on. But to make a long story short, I really felt for her. It was obvious that she was really overwhelmed by all this still. It was near tears and didn't mean anybody any harm. And I'm fully, again, I'm in her corner. I support Gina Carano as well. I think that the media smear only further proves that what she was saying was absolutely correct, right? SNL, y'all ain't funny, okay? Y'all ain't funny. Uh, I would say that that accent that you had that actress use to impersonate Gina was one incredibly offensive to Italian Americans, and we here in New York City, as you would well know, SNL, because you're part of NBC, have a large Italian American community. Do you really want me to reach out to the Calandra Institute and get a bunch of pissed off college students marching at your doors? I don't think you want that. But also, the skit from SNL was absolutely stupid because by giving her, this tough talking, New York Italian accent like that, all it did was just play more into her media image, which is that she's a tough woman. So you actually emphasized what is a strength for her, what is she's always used to sort of, advertise herself and what she's known for in the media, which is being a legitimately tough woman, an actual professional fighter at one point. So congratulations, SNL. You played yourselves. All you did was just make her seem cooler by using the tough guy accent. But y'all haven't been funny since the day I was born, and that was 36 years ago. Now, moving on, right? You see, Drunk 3PO is a nice dude, right? He went through all the trouble to, cover this person's Twitter identity. I am not drunk. I am not that nice. You see, the person who sent this, right, who put this tweet out there in the public space, remember, Twitter is public, right, is Fiona Quigs. Nice little picture here, right? Oh, look at her. She looks so cute. And yet her mind is so poisoned, right? You can even see here on the bottom here, right? Fiona Quigs on Twitter. Gonna punch in the first, right? So it's the same thing, right? Gonna punch the first person I see with this song, right? Now, Fiona doesn't have to worry about anybody clapping back or anything, because guess what? Well, first of all, as you can see, this tweet is unavailable, right? But I had quote tweeted and wrote was wonderful. Catch an assault charge. Don't forget, people fight back when attacked. You may find yourself in a hospital, a police station, a courthouse, and then a jail cell, all over a shirt you don't like. What I should have also added there was a pine box, right? Because whenever there is physical violence, there is sadly the possibility of death, right? But it didn't quite think about that at that time, right? But here's the thing: Fiona's page no longer exists, which most likely means she has deleted her Twitter as a whole. Usually, if you're blocked, it'll just say that you can't see the image, or if they take it down, it'll just say this tweet is unavailable, as it did here. But you go through and you see that the page doesn't exist. So she most likely deleted her Twitter for now, right? Probably trying to lay low until the uh, until the heat passes. Because see, I saw this happen in real time. I saw this tweet, and I saw, of course, everybody in the fandom menace, right? Anna, Geeks and Gamers, Drunk, everybody who you would expect to responded and pretty much told her, this is absolutely stupid, right? Some were nice about it, like Drunk. Others were not so nice. But pretty much everyone told her the same thing, right? That threatening violence against a person over a t-shirt is absolutely dumb. But let's be honest here. It's not just about the t-shirt. It's not just about this particular item. It is about what this item represents, right? It is about what it signifies. Because think about it. This item is a group identifier, right? It identifies a person, at the very least, as a member and as a fan of Drunk 3PO's channel, right? If you're going to spend money on a very expensive item, Teespring stuff is always crazy expensive, in my opinion, right? So if you get this shirt, right, you'll be at the very least identifying yourself as a member and a fan of Drunk 3PO, which most likely, not in every instance, but most likely would probably mean that you're a fan of the fandom menace. And as we all know, especially if you follow this online, right, the fandom menace is not happy with Disney Star Wars, and they're very vocal about it. And those who work in Disney Star Wars uh, do not appreciate the very strongly worded opinions of the fandom menace, right? So there's been this conflict and going back and forth. It's pretty much like Comicsgate, but with Star Wars instead of Marvel and DC, right? But it's pretty much the same here, right? And I honestly think that part of the reason Gina also got in trouble, she doesn't mention it in her interview with Ben Shapiro, but I also think that a part of the reason she got in trouble is because she did an interview with Drunk 3PO, so naturally that's going to associate her with the fandom menace. And when you're working for Disney, right, you do an interview with Drunk 3PO, which I thought was a fascinating interview. By the way, I thought it was great, and I thought it was so kind of her, because he's not to insult Drunk, but he's not a large channel, right? It's not like Star Wars Theory or something, right? He's a very small channel, but she was willing, this big Hollywood actress was willing to appear and do an interview with him. So, I just thought that was so cool on her part, right? Probably like the biggest moment in his YouTube career uh, as of yet, right? So I always thought that maybe internally, she doesn't mention it, but I've always been of the opinion that perhaps internally, after she did that, that Disney was going to take some sort of, corrective action or adverse action against her, because they would not appreciate that. They would not appreciate that. And again, I'm not in Disney's corner. There's absolutely no reason to punish an actress for interviewing with a small YouTube channel, or any YouTube channel that has been nothing but kind to her, right? So I've always been of the opinion that maybe she kind of ruffled feathers by doing that, because now that associates her with the Phantom Menace, right? But anyway, right, moving on, right? As I was saying before, the T-shirt, right? The T-shirt here is a group signifier, right? And here's the thing: Fiona here is engaging in the same type of hateful rhetoric that Gina's tweet about, how Jews were betrayed by their own neighbors and all that, and how, it was that hatred that was turning neighbor against neighbor, right? For what? For group affiliation, right? In this case, being a Jew, right? In the case of the tweet Gina made, right? So she's espousing, Fiona here, whether she realizes it or not, is espousing the same type of hatred that Gina was actively denouncing in her TikTok post or whatever it was that ultimately got her fired, right? And then picked up by an Orthodox Jew in Ben Shapiro, right? But this is all about group affiliation. She's expressing a desire, right? And I would not just a desire but an intent, right? Gonna punch, right? Right. This isn't saying I want to punch or I wish I could punch. It could still be absolutely awful, but gonna punch. That means that you're going to do something, right? That's intent to action, at least in my personal opinion. Gonna punch the first person I see with this on. Well, imagine if right, if the shirt was, say, a yarmulke, right? Or the Star of David, or the black and white outfit that some really, really Orthodox men in the Jewish community wear, and they have the hat and the curls coming down. I don't quite know what the term is, but I know what it looks like. Again, New York has a very large Jewish community. But right, imagine if it had been that, right? Imagine how people would have responded. People would have been outraged. Or what if this, right, instead of a T-shirt, was, say, a hijab, right, which of course would identify someone as a Muslim, right, or maybe for men, right, they had a turban on, a long thick beard, right, identifying them as a Sikh, right. Or imagine if, she said or rather this that she's talking about was the Christian cross, right. A lot of people like to wear the cross, right, identifying them as a Christian, right? These are all emblems, right? Religious in the examples I've given, but these are all emblems that signify group affiliation, right? Another example is sports, right? A Yankee cap, a Mets cap, a Knicks cap, right? Whatever. It's group affiliation, and she expressed an intent to enact violence on people of a particular group, in this particular case the Phantom Menace, that she does not like. This is the radical, hateful rhetoric that leads to atrocities such as the Holocaust or the Armenian genocide, or 9/11, right? Being all Westerners are infidels and all this other stuff, or the Rwandan genocide, right? That was only what 30 some years ago, if that. It happened in the 90s, right? This is a type of hateful rhetoric that sooner or later can lead to those type of atrocities, right? It's when a person or a group of people believe that another group of people deserve violence enacted against them and deserve to be basically othered, right, and dehumanized. Again, as I've always pointed out, right, they're savages, savages, hardly even human. Right? I've gone over that song and its purpose 1,000 times in the videos that I've done talking about hate, right, and how we should not hate. So I'm not gonna repeat the point, right? Now, do I really think that Fiona has the ovaries to actually walk up to somebody wearing a Fandom Menace shirt, right? Whether it be the Rebellion shirt or something else, and actually attack them? No, I don't. But it isn't about whether or not she would actually follow through. It's about that she thinks this is an appropriate thought to voice in a public space in the first place. It's that she thinks this at all over a group identifier that identifies whoever gets the shirt, identifies them with a group that she personally does not like. What happened to live and let live? Right? As I've stated in several videos, I don't like politics or politicians. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I am beyond done with both parties. But I've seen people around my neighborhood with like Bernie signs in their windows or Bernie T-shirts or whatever. I'm not gonna go enact violence on them because they're a Bernie Sanders supporter and I'm not. Hell, a Bernie supporter came to my door during the election. I think the person was well intentioned, but I think they didn't realize how many negative stereotypes about black people that they were playing into while they were talking to me. But again, I'm not gonna enact violence or hate against you. I just don't agree with you. Okay, move on with life, right? The same thing with again MAGA hats, right? I remember a video a while back. I think it was Blair White, right? Trans conservative uh, Trump supporter, YouTuber, right? She kind of did like a social experiment, right, where she walked around with a MAGA hat, right? And if I remember the video correctly, someone threw a drink or some sort of liquid in her face, and I think someone took her hat, right? Here's the thing: you should never be enacting violence against someone because they view the world differently than you do. You don't have to agree with Blair and her views. That's fine. You don't have to like the fact that she's a conservative or a Trump supporter. That's fine. But you don't have the right to put your hands on her or anyone else because of that. She's not deserving of violence. You don't have the right to victimize her, right? Because she identifies with a group you disagree with, right? I could have sworn, maybe I was wrong, perhaps I was wrong, but I could have sworn that we learned these lessons because of the oppression of people like African Americans and gays and other members of the LGBTQ and religious folks and all of that. That this type of hatred and violence for any reason, just because someone is opposite you, is wrong. If you don't like someone's group affiliation, okay, avoid that group if you can. Or in many instances, because we all have to live together, learn to accept the fact that guess what? People are different from you and they deserve humanity and they deserve safety and peace just like you do. You can be ideological opposites in every way, but that's not a reason to hate someone to the point of violence. To the point of if I see anybody with this item, be it religious or anything else, right, that identifies them as a certain group. It can be religious paraphernalia, would that be the word? I'm not sure. It could be a sports cap, it could be skin tone, right? Or other facial features that might give a person away as a certain ethnic group or anything else. This type of hatred, right, is absolutely stupid. It is absolutely stupid. It is absolutely, uh, again, it leads to the very atrocities that we're trying to not repeat. And yet, sadly, on Twitter, many people are so radicalized that they think that this is okay. That it's okay to say this. Hey, I'm going to threaten physical violence against someone and I'm going to get Twitter likes. Because I'm on the right side of history. Because I'm threatening the right people. So I can't possibly be wrong. And believe me, this type of thing is not new. Anybody who remembers Comicsgate, right, remembers when Mags Fasaggio, who is a trans comic creator. I've read a few of her comics. I don't think she's all that good at it. Right, but her sort of claim to fame is that she's a transgendered woman. Okay, whatever. Fine, don't care, just write me a good story. But she put out a tweet years ago where she was I think she was in New York at the time, interestingly enough, right? Talking about how she wanted to take a baseball bat and hit cis people uh, in the face. Well, first of all, Mags, I never forgot that, and I don't appreciate being indirectly threatened by a random stranger that I don't know. But more importantly, again, it's the rhetoric of hate. Imagine if someone who was cis said that about, I wish I could take a bat and just hit all these trans, right? Imagine if someone said that. Imagine the outrage. Then and now that would have happened. Mags would have been one of the first people to call that type of trash out, and she would have been absolutely right to do so. Yet, when she engages in the same type of hateful rhetoric, we're supposed to just give her a pass because, oh, she was angry that day. I've been angry. I've been angry on camera. But I never threatened physical violence against a person. You want to fight me? You get in the comments. You get in the comments, you get at me at Twitter, but I have never threatened physical violence against a person. Check the videos. It's not necessary. We can settle these differences with words. Or we can be mature adults for once in our lives and realize that these are not things in many instances worth fighting for, and more importantly, worth hating for. Fiona, you don't like the fandom menace? Okay, cool. Don't watch their content. Don't retweet their stuff. And most importantly, my dear, don't threaten to assault them just because they wear a t-shirt that you don't like, because they're part of a group you disagree with, right? Discretion is indeed the better part of valor. You have to know when to walk away. You have to know what is worth fighting for and what is not worth fighting for. And guess what? Your wounded ego and your pride and your weak your weak mindset, because you're being a bully here, Fiona. You're being a bully. It's not worth fighting for. Be the better person, right? Be the better person, and if you do come back on Twitter, hopefully you'll denounce this tweet and go on your merry way. Because really, this is not necessary on both ends. On both ends. There is no need to give your ideological adversaries more ammo to use against you to prove just how hateful you are. And there's no need on your end to get involved with something you don't like in the first place. So don't be Daniel Kibblesmith and, try to act tough and, talk trash and go, hey, I wish I could walk up to this person or this group and just hit him with a bat, or, hit him with my fist. Be the stronger person. Be the better person and realize that violence is not necessary in this instance. Of all the things worth fighting for, your hurt fifis ain't it. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day or night wherever you are. Bye.